thumbs up if I'm being heard? Nice. Thank you, Lindsay. I'll just keep talking and then the whole time be like, we didn't hear her. Awesome, awesome. All right, so 1 o'clock. Hey, everybody. So we're going to get started in just a few seconds. Welcome, though. I'm excited to have you all. I have the chat box open, and I do have Megan popping in and out. She's going to help with some of the chat box if I become overwhelmed. But it's a nice small group, it seems like right now. I plan on doing these quite often and gearing these trainings to what you are looking for. So right now we're starting out with more of a ManyCam 101, and then we can definitely delve into more subject-specific ManyCam tutorials, whatever you guys want and need. I am here for you. So yeah. All right. So we have, let's just first do a show of hands on a scale of 1 to 5, since we all love TPR. What's your comfort level with ManyCam? All right, 1s and 2s and a 0 and a 2. All right. Good. So 3, 4, 2. Okay, good. 0s. Perfect. So that really helps me because it lets me know to keep this down a little bit. Now, if you have any specific questions, put it in the chat box. And again, we can share screens so I can help you with anything specific. All right. Just to introduce myself again, my name is Paige, but I do go by Teacher Sam if you follow my YouTube or my personal page. Why does she have so many names? Yeah, my husband wants to know that too. Okay, well, it's really simple. I joined VIPKid 2 years ago, and I do use my middle name, Paige, socially. Everybody knows me as Paige. But when you fill out that paperwork and send everything personal off to China, they instantly give you a teacher name, and they gave me my first name, Samantha, and then LBQ. So I decided, let's just have that persona, so all my students know me as Teacher Sam, and socially, and with anybody, I go by Paige. I just taught my 3,000th class today, which was a lot of fun. Thank you. I was super excited, and I'm 2 students away from 1,100 different students. All right, so I started in June of 2017, and if I go back 3,000 classes, man, I don't like to do anything 3,000 times except teach VIPKid and eat those chocolates with the cherries on the inside. That I could do 3,000 times. If I go back to my very first class, I actually wish maybe I can pull it up and show a picture. I might do that. It was very, very plain Jane. My lighting was terrible. My background was sad. And my very first student rolled his eyes at me. So that was awesome. All right, so then I really, really decided that I knew the first upgrades I needed to make first. And the first upgrade I made was to my camera. So the very first upgrade I made was getting an external camera. Now, one of the downfalls of an external camera is these, you can see everything, super high definition. But my lighting issues became minimal and almost to 0. Your internal cameras are really, really balancing out with everything else that your computer is trying to do. And therefore, light adjustment is not the best on internal cameras. So the very first thing I did was get an external camera. I didn't break the bank. And I've purchased actually 2. I've upgraded my upgrade. And the external cameras actually have fairly decent microphones. So usually when I Zoom, I sometimes just use the microphone on my external camera. But anyway, the external camera allows me to adjust for lighting. It allows me to adjust for brightness, and it allows me to soften my skin so you don't know that I'm 42. All right, so I love the external cameras. The second thing that I did was start really getting into my backgrounds. Now, if you've seen any of my videos and props group posts before I went to ManyCam, you can see that I was a background enthusiast. And in fact, if you take a look here, underneath my green screen is actually a real version of my computer digital background. And I do have that for a reason. I have it because, well, sometimes computers fail us. And I do need to grab an iPad if I underestimated the length of my Windows update. And so I will quickly tear down my green screen and I have a regular background behind me. Right about 6 months ago, maybe 7, is when I started realizing the beauty and fell in love with ManyCam, and ManyCam has been my go-to ever since. Now, first, I did start to use ManyCam on a Lenovo laptop that had 8 megabytes of RAM, and I believe about 2.2 gigahertz processor. And if you look at some of my older videos, you'll see that when I started to record my videos as I went, I became very robotic. And one of the reasons is because a computer with only 8 gigabytes of RAM and a slow processor is not made to balance out our live streaming on ManyCam and our classrooms and Chrome. So if you go on the ManyCam website, you will see that they say only 2 gigabytes is needed for ManyCam. And if you go on to the VIPKid website and we start downloading the app, which we all need to start using, so we're gonna have to say goodbye to Chrome, which I did a long time ago and I'm happy with it, that's gonna use our resources. So the very first thing to successful ManyCamming is really, really your computer. Now, you do wanna have, if you can, at least 12 to 16 gig RAM. Many computers, you can upgrade your RAM. You can take a look at your spots and see, or just bring it to a local computer place. If you do have a touchscreen computer, I do have to say, unless you have spent a lot of money on that touchscreen computer, there is a good chance that you have sacrificed processor speed in order to be able to have the luxury of that touchscreen. What I did personally was I found a refurbished gaming computer. My computer is an absolute beast. I would love to show it to you, but you know, it might not work out so good. It's a beast. It is not pretty. It is not petite. It actually looks like it has Darth Vader armor to it, which I think is actually kind of cool. And it's not a laptop. It is a dedicated computer. All right, so it has 16 gigabytes of RAM and it has 3.5 gigahertz processor, and it cost me, are you guys ready for this? $300. And how did I do that? How do you get that for $300? Well, eBay is filled with, I messed up my chair. eBay is filled with refurbished gaming computers. And so that's where I put my money. Now, I do have a laptop as well, so I can walk away from my computer and I can still do my, you know, my feedback. Sometimes I just need to get away from my classroom. And that's what I use my laptop for. But as far as my computer goes, I'm dedicated. For a processor, Teresa, you want to have at least 3.3 or 3.5. There are different levels. There's i7s, there's, you know, mine's an i5. It really doesn't matter anymore. We used to be able to just say an i5 processor, an i7 processor, or this many cores. It just needs to be able to start at around 3.3. Now, people will say that they do succeed with ManyCam with a slower computer, and that's great. And here's what I say is going to happen. It'll work until it doesn't. That's basically the magic formula. And when doesn't it do it? Well, it stopped doing it when I started getting 3 IT issues, and I said, okay, it's time. So it works until it doesn't. And that's what I will say. It could be one window upgrade for you away from not working. So if you're struggling, let's get the right computer. All right, so now let's jump into it. For a show of hands, how many actually have ManyCam right now on their computers? Excellent. Great. And then we have many that are waiting to download it to see what it does. All right, so let's delve into ManyCam. I'm going to share my computer screen. When I share my computer screen, I'm going to disappear. Actually, you'll still be able to see me on my ManyCam. Let me tell you a little bit about my computer screen and another place that I felt was worth spending my money. Now, I was able to use ManyCam on my small Lenovo laptop. Let's take in account and pretend that my processor was fine and my memory was good. I still chose to then wait for a super good sale at Staples, and for about $125. And I know money is money, and I'm not telling you guys to go and break the bank, but I did buy a 27-inch monitor. At first, I was plugging my 27-inch monitor into my laptop, and I never used the laptop screen. if you decide to treat yourself or ask for something, if you've been good this year, I would say reward yourself with a nice size monitor versus trying to do 2 monitors. Now, there are people who master the art of 2 monitors, and I do have to say, I pride myself on being a fairly interactive ManyCam teacher. I think I'm on the level of weather people, that I can really interact with my effects in a natural way. And I was unable to do that when I had the 2 screens. I didn't care if it was one screen on top of another, if they were side by side and the same length. It was very unnatural. And when I watched my playbacks, I didn't like it. Let's go ahead and share my screen. You guys are welcome to come off mute at any point, please, and speak. I don't want to talk and say things that you're not even remotely interested in. All right. So here we go. At this point, you should all be seeing my screen and you can still see me. All right, everyone can see my screen okay? Awesome, thanks. All right, good. So here, as you can see, I have my 27-inch monitor, and you can see really how much nicely fits onto this monitor. I have my ManyCam. I can have my Google Slides that go down the side. I can open up my classroom screen here, and I don't have anything for bookings right now. I am 100% a short notice booking teacher, so all my classes I decide the night before if I want to work or not, and they fill. All right, so on a general day, if we were to pretend that this top part here is my portal, this is my basic setup for my ManyCam. I have my classroom, I have my ManyCam, and I have my Google Slides. All right, let's bring it down. Let's go into ManyCam. ManyCam is a gaming streaming software. The main purpose of it originally was created to be able to do streaming and to stream games. It then became a real fun way to up your classroom experience. So I use ManyCam, I use Chroma Key, that's your green screening, and I use effects. Where did I start first? I started simply with basic effects. And the basic effect that I did start with, and it looks like I have deleted them here, which is perfectly fine. I'm going to show you how I do it, was my stars. Now, everyone tells me that they've went in and they couldn't find the stars I use and feel like that somehow I was hiding these beautiful flickering stars from you. And I promise I'm not. So I will show you today where this awesome star is. So the stars are the only reward that I use for the trial. So how many here like this gorgeous little star and at the very least want to be able to use these fun little stars, right? At the very least. And you want to be able to have fun and do things like, hey, you get a star with your students. All right, this is the best way and the most fun way I feel to incorporate. All right, so if you have your ManyCam open, I'm going to go ahead and delete this. Oh, the effect is gone. Issues, it's my favorite star. All right, how many have ManyCam open on their computer? You're welcome to follow along with me. Let's go star shopping, okay? The very first thing we're going to do is we're going to go into this objects folder. This objects folder might be empty for you. It's right on the side. If we scroll down here to presets, we're going to go to this, effects right here. It's your magic little wand. We're going to click on that, and that gives us objects. The objects folder is kind of like your home or default folder. This is where most of your effects are going to land. If we scroll to the bottom, I do have a bunch of random effects in here because I add them as I'm working with the students. That's the second advantage or another advantage to a fast computer. Your student decides suddenly that they like Tinkerbell and all they want are Tinkerbell effects, like boom, 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 Tinkerbell. Here you go. I'm gonna click on Get More right here. And this is going to open up ManyCam's catalog. It may open up it in Explorer on your computer. It may open it up in Safari on your computer. And it may open it up in Chrome. It depends on what your default browser is. All right, so if you can see right here, has everyone been able to do that that's wanted to do that and now has the catalog in front of you? If not, you know how to do it and you're following along. All right, I'm going to go right into this here where it says search effects, and I'm going to click on it and just type in star. and I'll hit enter. All right. And here are a bunch of little stars. All right. 2 I'm going to tell you to get. I'm going to tell you eventually to get this flying star. And the flying star I absolutely love because I'll tell a student when they do a good job and they get their 5 stars. There we go. We get it started, right? I'll do the 5 stars over the head. It's all in the way you present it. All right, let's go to scroll down until you see this particular star right here. It's a 4-star rated star, and it is not particularly doing anything right now, but we are going to click on download. Now, when you click on download, some of you may have a box pop up that says save or open. Are you seeing that when you click on download? If you're getting that choice, please click on open. All right, once you click on open, you should see almost your ManyCam icon on the bottom of your icon tray blinking. It just lets you know something has been added into ManyCam. So is everybody with me right now so far? This is how we're going to learn to get an effect. The next step is going to be making your own. I'm going to go into my objects now, and I'm going to look. And here is my star. So if everyone was to click one time on that star, hey, Lindsay has it, Shelby has it. Awesome, awesome. Isn't it great? It's a great star. Yeah, it's a good star. All right, so I can't just live with 1 star. So let's go ahead and hold down your control button and click 4 more times on that yellow star. 1, 2, 3, 4. Awesome. I see Shelby doing it. And Lindsay, click on the star on the actual object in your objects list. You want to click on it there, right? 1, hold down your control and click. There you go. Now what I can do is start to drag those stars where I like it on my screen. So I'm going to start dragging them down the side of my screen. And now I have 5 blinking stars. Now these stars, I honestly tell you, this is all you need in your trials. I'm telling you, make a big deal about these stars in your trials, and you'll find that you're using ManyCam. Okay, so now if you look here, you see the object stars. You see how it's listed. Your selected effects, hold on, are probably more towards the bottom. Is that correct? Let's look here. Your selected effects are down here. I love to just kind of drag this gray bar and bring it up here. Whether you have it at the top or bottom, that's your choice. I just like to have it at the top. And now I'm going to click and close 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And my stars are one at a time disappearing. All right. And eventually what you'll end up doing is just lining up your stars exactly where you want it. I see this star blinking here. I'm going to put it here. So now I have 1, 2, oh, they keep moving on me. All right, you'll line up your stars exactly where you want them. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You'll be able to shift them in your list, and you're going to just get them in the right order so they become top, down, and bottom. So we're not going to go into this today, but you're going to start playing with it to make sure that they fall in the same order. Here we go. Mine are now in the right order. So now when I give a star to the students, again, you're just going to move these up and down. It depends where you drag them all over your screen. I can't control them. You get a star. Good job. 2 stars. Awesome. 3 stars. You're amazing. 4 stars. That's the best. 5 stars. Congratulations. You have 5 stars. Okay. So now we've got it. This is the one magic, right? Upped your game a little bit. If I'm ready to go for my next class, selected effects. Right here in this little bar here, and I'm going to click on show or hide all effects, and that gets them gone. Now I'm not going to touch these. My stars are going to stay here all the time. Is it true? Oh, how do I get rid of the stars? All right, right here again in selected effects. Oh, and you can just click on show or hide all effects. I'm going to hide them. If I want to open one at a time, do you see these? I think they're like little eyeballs. You click on it to turn it on, and you click on it again to turn it off. Okay. There are free versions of ManyCam. I have the studio version. So what does the studio version give me? It gives me 12 feeds, and it gives me chroma key. So let's travel through my feeds. Who here plans on using chroma key? Anybody plan on green screening? Leslie? No. Lindsay? No. Shelby has one of her awesome Vistaprint backgrounds. She's unsure. Heather's just lounging. Loving it, Heather. All right, so we're not going to dive too much into chroma key today then. The only thing I do want to show you or tell you about, oh, I heard someone.
Yes, I would love to see chroma key.
You'd love to see green screening. Okay, great. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to touch on the green screening in about 15 minutes. Is that okay?
Yeah.
And we'll touch on, awesome. And I'm going to show you how I organize my green screens. And I actually use green screening as a huge prop on my computer. All right, so now let's say we've gone into the library and we've started to download a massive amount of props, right? We know what props we like for our lessons. What's the easiest way to be able to naturally use ManyCam in the classroom? Well, first off, in this effects, once again, your effects might be at the top. Mine are here at the bottom. You can create folders. Now, my biggest advice for you is take the time and organize your digital props. Just do it, okay? As you get them, organize them. If you take a look, when I click on wild, it's all like animal props, okay? If I go back and I click on food, obviously I'm gonna find all my food. Now, the first thing I would suggest is animals, really, and food. And food is amazing because as soon as a kid says they like ice cream, I'm like, oh, I like ice cream too. That's so good. Thank you for the ice cream. I mean, it's up on the screen and it's there in 2 seconds. What if I didn't organize my food? Well, that could happen because the rest of my life is completely disorganized. I can click on this icon right here, this little search bar, and I could type in ice cream, and it already just started popping up as I started typing it. So regardless of what folder it's in, it'll start to show up. If I'm doing animals and I want a zebra, you can see it starts to show up. So this is, you know, when you download the items, you want to make sure that you name them and items that you like. All right, awesome, awesome. Any questions so far? All right, good. Who knew? All right, let me see. And I have the chat box I've lost. Oh no. If you are typing in the chat box, please feel free to just jump in and ask a question. I think that's gonna be the best. Miss, please.
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes, Laura.
I couldn't get the stars to copy when I did the Control F to make the additional copies, the 5 of those stars.
Oh, okay, good. Not Control F, just Control and then click on the star in your effects folder.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I'm on there and then I click on it and I just hit Control.
And then click on it again.
Okay,
And
got it.
Awesome.
Sorry, I thought it said Control F. Got it. Thank you.
I'm sorry, I might have, I'm still getting used to it. I had to take my Invisalign off to be able to teach 6 months later and still getting used to it. That's the one thing with digital teaching. I kept seeing my teeth getting more and more crooked and I see myself on camera so much, I Invisaligned. Okay.
I have a question real quick.
Yes, Heather, absolutely.
So going back to when you first, I'm not following along because when I try to download an image like the star, I get the box that says open, save. And so when I push open, I get a box that says it cannot open. And it's because it's going to default, I guess, to open in Paint.
Ah, okay.
And it's not recognizing it. So
it's not recognizing it. And it's not giving you the option to open in anything else?
No.
All right, let me see. Now, what I've done automatically, all right, is made it where it always opens. So let me click on this. Let me click on download for a quick second. And it's automatically, I know it's automatically going to. All right, what I would suggest, I'm gonna play with that, Heather. I'm gonna get back to you on your answer, with an answer. Can you do me a favor and send me a PM through Facebook? So I remember, I can get back to you. Because I think it's actually going to be a simple clearing of it, but I'm gonna get to my ManyCam resource person and I'm gonna find out how to reset that all the way back. Yeah, that's a great question. That's a bummer. Can you resize the effects? Sometimes they are larger than I want. I'm definitely gonna get back to you, Heather. All right, so the best way to resize the effect is to make your own effect the way that you like it. Okay, so let's go into that, because I agree. Like my zebra sometimes is, it was like, it's massive, and some of them are massive. So let's go into making effects. One of the first websites that I like, and I'm going to throw this into the chat, is Kiss Ping. Let's go ahead and put this into the chat now that I found it again. All right. This website is a great website for pings, and pings or PNGs are what you want to use in making your own effects on ManyCam, because they're the ones that are just the image and the perfectly clear background, okay? So I've searched on this, well, we'll do it together. On this Kiss Ping, somebody give me a word. That way I don't have to do, let's find something. What should we find?
Dino.
Dino. That might be trademark. Let's see. Dino. Why not? Well, we get dinosaurs. All right, but that's okay. Let's go ahead and do a dinosaur anyway, because I have a lot of boys who would actually like the dinosaurs. I'm going to click on this dinosaur. So basically what I'm just doing right now is I'm just searching for any sort of ping that I like. All right, this site actually has like a ton of pop-ups that come up, but it's still the best. I'm going to download it. And then it's just going to give me, I'm not a robot. I don't feel like I should have to explain to a computer that I'm not a robot. It feels kind of wrong. All right, so now I've downloaded this ping. I'm just going to put it here in on my desktop so I can find it. So you're basically just downloading a ping. All right, he's on my desktop. Do you see him down here? It's cute, isn't he? All right, so now I'm going to go back into ManyCam. And Heather, we're going to make this so you're going to be able to do this as well. I'm going to go back into ManyCam, and I'm going to click on, let's start right from the beginning, my friends. I'm sorry. I'm going to go into ManyCam here. I'm going to click on Objects again, and I'm going to click on Get More. That brings me back to the ManyCam website. And now this time I'm going to click on Create Effects. When I go into Create Effects, I get this window here, and I'm going to browse or upload, and I'm just going to select this cool little dinosaur that I had. Now, what I like about this is it gives me an image. I can get an idea of how big this dinosaur is in relation to my head. Presently, he's kind of sitting in my eye. This little corner here allows me, look at this. All right, I can now resize this dinosaur to a size that I like. So I think this is a pretty decent size. I can go ahead and call it a name. What is he, a T-Rex? Sure. And then I'm going to just hit download. All right, now, oh, I can't use the hyphen. It's always something. I'm going to hit download. All right. So now that I've hit download, now there's two options. There's publish. That's what puts it in the library for everybody to use, or just download. I'm fairly selfish. I just download. I don't throw everything up in the library. And now if I go into my ManyCam, he's right here. You see? And I now have a little dinosaur exactly the way I want him. Same thing, if I were to hit Control and click on him again, I can get multiple little dinosaurs. All right, so this is how you could go ahead and create your own effects. You can do that with any sort of effect that you want. Build your library. If you know a student wants princesses and you can't find them, just go ahead and build. It's also basically how I found, and I took my ping of Meg and Mike, the new Meg and Mike, and I put them in my library the same way. Right here, you see I have Meg, and I wanted her nice and small, and I have Mike as well. They were just pings that I added to the library. Questions? We're good?
Yes. So
yes.
You mentioned copyright. So are things like, I have a student who loves Iron Man. He's crazy about him. So are things like that copyrighted, or can I use?
You can use anything you want to use in your classroom. You can use anything you want. What I was saying was, because that particular website is a ping website, they probably don't have VIPKid on there. They probably have like a restriction on there, a license restriction. But whatever you use in your classroom, you could go ahead and use in your classroom. That's not a problem. Yeah. Yeah, as long as it's appropriate. All right,
So
good.
is Dino available from a different website?
Dino is actually available. If I was to go into the back into my objects and I was to click get more, I do believe that Dino exists itself in the catalog. I feel like, yeah, see, people have uploaded Dino already.
Okay.
And there's this cute little one. This is called like Dress Dino. And what you would do is download this little guy, then his shoes, then his hat, backpack, sunglasses, gloves, all that little, those all go together with this Dress Dino. And just like I did with the stars, what you would do is place everything where you like it and then hide each thing. So then you would have Dino, and then maybe the student gets, the Dino gets the sunglasses next, and then the Dino gets a hat next. You can slowly dress Dino by layering your effects.
Cute.
Yeah, it's really cute. And you could do that with any of them, okay? And if you're in the ManyCams group, I know that some people have shared a lot of their files.
Wow.
Who here plans on using Google Slides?
Me.
Yeah, yeah. All right, let's go on to Google. Let's go on to Google Slides. Heather, this will be something that you're definitely able to do. Whew. All right, Google Slides. Who here uses the planner already? Or all right, Shelby does, and everyone else, no idea about the planner. All right, let me tell you, get the planner. Get the planner. Just do it. Get the planner. It's life-changing. Life-changing. All right. The way you get this planner is by going into the Google Slides group. And you just need to go ahead and take the time to fill out or to read what's in the announcements. And then you'll be able to find how to get the planner. Why do we make it so difficult for you to find? Because then you know what to do with it once you have it. So just take a moment to get it. This is the Google Slides planner. All right, I teach a high volume of classes and I MCM. I teach usually about 12 classes a day. And I have a prep time of about 5 minutes for all 12 classes. Time is money. Time is money. And so let's take a look at how I would go about and use the Google Planner. I'm going to go into some of my class list right here. I don't know why all that says booked info pending. Isn't that funny? Because
that's a glitch.
It's a glitch right now.
Yeah, a lot of people have it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like scared, but then I realized it doesn't matter. It's the past days and I've already been paid. So, all right. All right. So let's take a look. This has been a very slow week for me only because I'm not opening spots because it's the first week that my kids are home on summer vacation. So I'm playing taxi driver, but not in the Robert De Niro type of way. All right. What you would normally do is when you are ready to use the Google Slides Planner, you're going to go into your classes and you would just click on classrooms and we'll bring up our class list. Since my class list is empty right now because I already taught for today and I don't have anything listed right now, I'm going into my all classes list, okay? Just to get you some classrooms. What you would do in your classroom list is you would literally just copy and highlight. You know, you would control right click and copy or control C copy. You're basically copying your classes. Okay, I'm going to go into this master planner. I got to move you so you can see. And there's a bunch of tabs on the bottom: input schedule, my planner, Google Slides reward, my feedback, my favorite, my classes, my students, help and bonus tab. I'm going to go to input my schedule and I'm just going to hit refresh right now. This is just going to blank out everything I already had in there. Oh, this is so amazing. I'm Megan and Beth. Oh, the things they did for this planner. I'm going to right click in my first cell and I'm just going to hit paste. And it's basically just going to paste everything that I just copied from my class list. And then this button, this beautiful, beautiful button, you push start planner button and planner magic loads. And voila. All right, so this looks interesting, right? This is basically my students right here: Emily, Zhang Ziyi, Angela, Qiying, Isabella. And what this gives me first is it gives me Google Slide prop options and then extension rewards. I see my chat box loading up. Will I be able to use this? Yes. Also, Regina, I agree with SlideKick. SlideKick is amazing. I do love SlideKick. However, I love to use the planner, and I find that when I use the planner, I never have to go back to SlideKick or use it. And everyone who doesn't know what SlideKick is, it's another app to be able to access specific slides for lessons. It's great if you're using Google Slides on your phone and holding it up to the screen. But if you're using ManyCam, personally, I love, love, love the planner. All right, I am going to show you how I set up my day. And I'm going to basically show you how quickly I'm going to set up all of these students. I'm going to go into this particular Google Slide prop option. I'm just clicking on it. It brings up this Google Slide link, and I'm going to open it. All right, this is giving me, for Beijing, the capital, this is giving me a prop. I'm looking to the side. Yep. All right, I like these slides. I'm going to go back and I'm going to, let's see what game I want to play with Emily. Maybe I'm going to play the Would You Rather. I'm just going to open it. It's a Find a Star. Harry Potter theme. Oh, my fellow MCMs make fun of me all the time because I'm not a Harry Potter fan. I've never watched the movies, really. I tried once. I don't know. But I cosplay and I love Star Wars. All right, I'm going to just go in and keep opening up some of these things. This is a trial. Oh my goodness, these trial slides. And I'm just opening. Do you see how they're just creating tabs along the top? And I'm going to do maybe this game, Dress Dino. Some of them I'll say, you know what, maybe this isn't the particular slides I like, and I'll go back in and I'll move on to the next suggested slide. So basically in the morning, what I do is I go in and I just open up for all my classes. If I know there's another game I like, I'll load it up. If I don't want to use the games they suggest here, I can click on this Google Slides reward tab, and here is every kind of Google slide. 4 Picks 1 Word, Build-A, Candyland, Claw Machine, Coloring Book, Conversation Starters. Do you see this? It's amazing. One of the other things I've done is actually bookmarked my favorite rewards. So I have a folder called rewards, and here are my favorite bookmarks, and I can just open up that one, like build a burger. I love, if you haven't built a burger, please. All right, the next step that I want to do, and I'm going to show you why, is I want to make all of these in preview mode. So I'm going to go into my first tab here. I have to minimize it a little bit just because my drop down bar keeps popping in the way. All right. And everything from edit on, I'm going to replace with the word preview. I type it one time, and then I actually just highlight it and right click so it's just on my clipboard. All right, and I hit enter. I go into my next one and watch this. Now I'm just gonna hit paste, enter. I'm just going in and replacing everything from edit on and just hitting preview. And this puts it into preview mode. So this is how I'm able to do everything as quickly as I do in the mornings. Paste, enter. All right. And one more, that one's already going and that one's already going. Okay, so now I have basically all my tabs. Let's see how I set it up on my computer, and I'm gonna show you how to be able to use ManyCam on your computer. The first thing I'm going to do is place this on a part of my screen. Now, if you have a small screen, that's okay. You can go as small as you need to. And honestly, if it's like super small and you say something like, I can't see it that tiny, that's okay. You're gonna see it when it's on your ManyCam window. So it's okay if it's small. Have it take up the most minimal landscape on your computer. I like to open a preview instead of edit or present. Right, preview mode. So smart. I'll copy and paste now. Okay, sorry, Regina. Woo, trying to, I think there's more people on here than I'm seeing. Oh my goodness, I thought there was like 3. Now I scroll down. That's so funny. All right, so now I'm going to go into my ManyCam and I'm going to choose a feed. All right, the feed I have right now is just feed number 3. So I'm going to transition to feed number 3. I'm going to go into my presets. Let me delete this for you so we can start from scratch. So now you're just going to basically choose whatever preset you would like to be your Google slide. So I'm going to go ahead right now and create preset number 3. You can do it a few different ways. You could do it right here from your preset bar, or you can do it right here from your sidebar. And what I'm going to do is simply hit plus, and I'm going to say that I would like this, please, to be my desktop, and I'm going to choose custom area. This is what works the best for me. I've used it multiple ways using app area, and I have to tell you, this is just so much more user-friendly. I click on custom area, and I get this little bitty frame thing. All I'm going to do is drag and shape this frame over my reward right here. I'm going to just drag and shape it right on over. Okay, so now I have my build a burger. Now you can do two things. If your computer is small and you want to keep all your rewards right here and you want to just have one window open, that's fine. You can do that. Just set your classes up. Just take a moment and set it up. This is my first class, maybe lesson, and then this is my first class reward. Second class lesson, second class reward. Third class lesson, third class reward. You see what I'm saying? You could set it all up in your tabs so everything is right there. And that's an easy way to use just one kind of landscape or one little part of your computer. Now, if you have a little bit more room, which I do, I choose to drag my rewards down to the bottom. And I use a second preset, my preset number 4, for my rewards. So what I have is my reward down here and my lesson up here. This is just how I like to have it on my computer. I also open up a second one for my reward. We just put that here at preset 5. And this is for those rewards that are a find a star type of reward. So let me go in and just grab a find a star for everybody, and I could show you what I do there. Any questions so far? No? Awesome. I'm just opening up a find a star. Oh, snowy animals, how cute. I'm going to do exactly what I did before. I'm just gonna have this say preview. All right, and now the reason why I really like to have another preset is when we go into this reward. All right, so now, you know, I have to show you how to get picture in picture. All right, hey, you know, Shelby, what number do you like? Shelby likes number 2. So in my preset window number 5, I'm going to go into my drawing tool. I'm going to grab a pencil and I'm just going to cross out number 2. I know that we've done this one already. I don't even have to think about it. I'm going to quickly switch to my preset number 4, and that's when I click on the find a star. Okay, so then when I want to go back to the student, I switch quickly back to number 5. I could say pick another number, and number 2 is already crossed off. If you don't want to do this, you sure can use your chat box for your find a stars. That's fine, but I don't like to do that. I like to have a visual. So this is why I have 2 feeds for my reward and 1 feed for you know, 1 feed for my lesson. And as I said, it's small up here, you know, it's small up here, but it's big enough on my ManyCam. It's big enough on my ManyCam. I made myself picture in picture by simply going into my preset. I could do it 2 ways. I can right click on the preset, like here, I can right click, and I can say to add a new layer. That suddenly brings up this little plus sign. I'm going to click on that plus sign and I'm going to choose my camera. And here I am with a blue dot on my face. Okay, here I am, picture in picture. You can see my green screen behind me. So what I would do then is turn on green screen and start clicking away. And so I am translucent, which I love because I personally love to get involved in my, like I could put myself in this food right now if I wanted to, which is, you know, silly, but who wouldn't want to put themselves in a big donut? All right, any questions here on the Google Slides? I feel like this was going to be a big and important one for people. Any questions? My floating head only works in chroma key. My floating head and shoulders, though. I'm more than just a floating head. Questions?
I have a question.
Yes.
My question is about actually using the slides in class. So like when I'm in the classroom and I have to go over and click to the slideshow to make the slide advance.
Yes.
That's how you have to do it. There's no hotkey to do that.
There's no hotkey because the hotkey only exists in ManyCam. right? So the hotkeys exist in ManyCam. If I'm clicked on this window, I can use my arrow over. I mean, I'm right now I'm clicking and I'm just arrowing over left and right on my keyboard. It's changing the slide, which is good, I guess, if you're using the lesson slides. You can just kind of change it that way. I don't know how great that would be on a reward slide that's fairly interactive. But that's a great question. Amanda also just brought up hotkeys. Who here needs explanation on what hotkeys are? All right. Leslie, we're going to jump into it pretty quickly. I'll go quick on hotkeys. So if I go into my settings part of ManyCam, there is a section here called hotkeys. Hotkeys are the quick way to switch between the feeds in your ManyCam. There's a few different type of hotkeys, and just so you know, the hotkeys only work if you have a studio version like I do. They only work for slides 1 through 10. Anything over that, you need to click. Like, it's not that big deal. There's 2 different hotkeys that set as Alt and Control, and you want to make sure that your global hotkeys are set to on. Okay, so why do we use hotkeys? Well, hotkeys are what allow me to basically do here. See how I'm clicking slide to slide and feed to feed? Hotkeys allow me to do that by just hitting either Control 2. See, or 3 or 4, I'm flipping through just using my control feature, or Alt, which gives me a little bit more of a slower transition. You see, it's a little bit prettier. The advantage of the hotkeys is to give you also a little bit more landscape on your computer. So if we just take a look, are you guys able to see yourselves here along the side of my screen? I feel like you should be if I'm sharing my screen somewhat. Okay, so I'm going to minimize ManyCam right now. So ManyCam is not on my screen. However, since I chose global hotkeys, I can still switch my feeds. And this is the advantage of global hotkeys. I'm just hitting Control and just going through my feeds, okay? And that's the advantage. It gives you, it frees up landscape on your computer. Hey, I'm back.
You don't have to have ManyCam open to use the hotkeys.
You have to have it, well, you have to have it minimized. You can minimize it. It has to be open. I understand. Right here. You can minimize it to the bottom of your screen. Now it's down here in my tray. And so my hotkeys still work.
I understand. Thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Then you just kind of bring it back up if you want to go ahead and add your effects and things like that. Somebody mentioned that they only have 4 feeds. That's okay. You really still can get the most of 4 feeds. I started with the standard version and then just updated. What I have in my feeds are, well, I have me. Hello. I have my countdown screen. I have this screen started at every class. I'll put the student's name here. I will run a timer and just play around. You know, if class is about to start in 2 minutes, I'll do a little countdown timer for the students so they know I'm here and they don't start going like, teacher, talk to me, you know. Yeah, I noticed that my feed is flipped. Is your feed only flipped, Lindsay, here on, or is it flipped in general? If you're using ManyCam right here and you're making it
on Zoom.
On Zoom, it's always flipped. Yeah, on Zoom, it's always flipped. Mine is backwards too. Trippy, right?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, as long as it looks fine. So it'll show whatever it shows in your window. If for some reason you accidentally flipped it, it would be, you'd click on video and this flip and rotate gives you the option to flip it back. But if you flip it so it's right to you, it'll be wrong to us.
Okay.
Oh, it's only a Zoom thing. Yes.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. All right, we've touched on Google Slides. Oh, feeds. So this simply was just made using a Google Slide. I just used my Bitmoji. I used an app that turned my Bitmoji into a ping. You know, I erased my background and I just put it on here. This is actually just Lee and Maya. And I used an app to change their shirt colors and their headbands to orange. And then I threw the VIPKid logo on their shirts. I have this and I have a goodbye slide. And that's where I put my, if they want to find me on WeChat. And hey, remind me, 5 stars, please. Thank you very much. I have a feed that's just my family. I like this particular one for the trials. This is a fun part where chroma key really comes into play. I will see, and I'll say like, and this is my family, you know, so I love to make myself like part of the picture. Anyway, that's my family. All right. Any other questions right now? We're going to go into more specific topics another time. I don't want to take up, we're already 49 minutes in. Any other specific questions on ManyCam that I can answer before we switch on to chroma key?
I have one question about the closing slide.
Yes.
So now in the classroom, when we hit the finish class button, it turns off our camera. How do you use the closing slide when it automatically turns off the camera?
Yeah, I'll use my closing slide and keep it there for about 30 seconds, 40 seconds, and then I'll close it. Yeah, I keep it on there and then I'll close it. Although I have found sometimes, especially if you've been switched to the older classroom, you know, it doesn't shut your camera off anyway. And I use it more for new students than existing students, like students that I maybe don't have already. I have really good parents. Out of 3,000 classes, and I short notice book now, I have about 1,600 5 apples. My feedback percentage is pretty high. Fortunate, but I will go ahead and throw that on. Like if I just had an amazing trial and I really want, you know, I'll kind of maybe throw that on there. But that's a great question. Otherwise, I just shut it off. But I do use this welcome one nearly all the time. I get into the classroom and it's great. Just the other day, I got into the classroom, I went to turn on my camera and it said, ManyCam, please start ManyCam. So what happens? Oh, what happens if it says, please start ManyCam or your ManyCam is acting up? The very first thing to do, I'm on a Windows, but if you find that your ManyCam is not showing your picture or showing the logo, right over here to this right arrow here that kind of shows your things that are running on your computer right now, you would simply right click and turn off ManyCam and then go right back into your icon on your computer and just turn it back on. You know, close your camera, shut off ManyCam, go over to your icon and reopen it. Honestly, it's just a matter of seconds. And this is why I do get into my next classroom at least a minute or so early. I'm still doing feedback from my last class, but I do have my welcome slide up and I know I'm ready to go. I know that there's not going to be an issue. It shows I was in the classroom. Even if my computer was to shut down at that very moment, I'm not getting a teacher no-show. I'm getting a teacher ID. It shows that I was in the classroom. I mean, these are silly but strategy things. Any other questions? That's a great question. Any other questions on the features down the side of ManyCam before we go into chroma key?
I have a question about Planner. Would
Yes.
you go back and show us how you uploaded your class and you click Start Planner?
Absolutely, absolutely. So I went into Input right here on the bottom. It says Input Schedule. I've copied my classes. Let me just copy them again. I'm going to reset it for you. So every day I go in, I reset my planner. Now, the nice thing about the planner is you can actually save your classes. You can save these. It'll save your students. You can start to favor your rewards that you really like. It does start to act like a database so you can keep track of all your students. I use Feedback Panda in addition to the planners. So that's where I track all my students. So I personally just reset every day. But if you want to build and save and you don't have anything started now, the planner is a great way to keep track of all your students. I'm going right into class times. I'm just clicking on the first cell and I'm hitting like Control V, which is paste. You can also right click. I'm going to then go into my Start Planner button and I just sit back and wait for it to happen. Now, when you're going on your input, this is also where you may want to edit your names. Like, see if I'm on my input schedule. See how it says like Leo new to you. I'll go in and I'll just delete new to you. You know, I'll go in here and delete first 12 lessons. If I know that his name is Zhang Ziying, but he actually goes by Harry, you know, I can put it in this student's nickname part here. All right, I'm going to run that planner again because I made some changes. Now, one of the other benefits of the planner, other than getting those awesome slides, is right here. It's in your feedback. You know, this auto generates feedback for you with your student's name based on that lesson. So here's Sheldon. Here's some generated boy feedback. Sheldon did a great job in class today. He came ready to learn. Here's what we learned. So now you can go in and copy and just paste that into your feedback, and obviously personalize it so you touch on their strengths and weaknesses and everything else. But what a great way to go ahead and get some of your feedback in quickly. And then you also can favorite your favorite ones, and you can customize. You have a list where you can keep your favorite rewards. You can start using the My Classes as you save your students. And then there's some other tabs which help you like recopy the master planner if you made an issue. Google Slides, the group there will give you specific tutorials, and we will, they will be doing, Megan and Beth and all them will be doing specific Google Planner Zoom sessions. But I hope that was enough to get you started, at least with ManyCam. Yes? All right, how many here feel at least tomorrow that you could go in and at the very least start throwing stars at your students along the side? How many are going to do it? Yeah, right? Those stars are amazing. All right, good. And how many are going to try to start using Google Slides? Yeah? All right, the best thing to do is just do it. Just do it. And here's what I like to say too. Don't over-rehearse, don't over-practice, don't over-prep. When we do that, we become a little frazzled, right? We become like, here's what I'm going to do now. Here's what I'm going to do now. Just take it as it goes, right? The students think you're the best. So you know what? Here's the next slide that's up. You know, I need a moment to transition here before I switch it. I tell you, by the 5th, 6th, 7th class, like you have it. Take the time and organize and you'll have it. At any point, PM me. I'm more than happy to do one-to-one. What permission do I access? What kind of permission access to my computer do I have to give Google Slides? It's just opening up like a Google document. So all that has to happen is you just have to go into Google Slides, go through their little spiel, and then they'll give you permission. It's just the same as opening up a Google sheet. They're just giving you permission.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Well,
do you teach when you're on vacation? Vacation's vacation. I know I should, because every time I'm not teaching, my lighting, we're going into that next. All right, very good. Yes, I don't teach when I'm vacation. That's just a personal preference. And my husband says no. I'm going on a cruise soon. I'm not even going to attempt it. Let's go into Chroma Key. First, let's take a look at my lighting. So what I have right now on my phone is I have the ManyCam app. I'm just going to go into this and I'm going to set it as mobile app. I'm going to give permission. I'm going to say allow on my phone. And I got to mute there. Okay, so here we go. I'm using ManyCam app. I have 2 studio lights. These are softbox lights. I got them for about $60 maybe on Amazon. I sit in, you can see it's really messy. I sit in an unfinished basement with 1 light bulb only above my head. That's my only source of lighting. In addition, then I use these 2 lights. These 2 lights are to the left. Let's see if I can flip this around. Hi. They're to the left and right of me. And they are my only source of lighting. That's enough to give my green screen enough lights. Now, I also have tried using a ring light. I know that's been suggested by many people. I do not like the ring light. I did just set up, I have an 18-inch ring light. It's really, really what I use for selfies. You know, I'm just gonna stand, my chair is being a pill. I have a ring light. I haven't found the ring light to give me good lighting. There's a few reasons I don't like the ring light. Also, it is almost like a guaranteed migraine for me. They're really bright LED lights. So I have softbox lighting. Inside the softbox light, they come with regular fluorescent lighting. I've thrown those aside and I've bought or purchased daylight bulbs. And daylight bulbs are what give you basically natural lighting. So all the lighting on me are daylight bulbs. I'll turn off my Chroma Key right now, and then you can see basically how lit my green screen is. It does get a little darker over here because it's wrinkly, and that's okay. I've actually just gone ahead and push pinned it to my wall. Again, so I can tear it off in case case of emergency. All right, so chroma key. How do I use chroma key in my classroom? Well, the first thing what you want to do is have great lighting. All right, now if you're in a small room, another thing you could do, Karen on the digital effects board actually teaches in a closet. And if you've ever seen her chroma key lighting, it's on point. And she's just basically able to bounce off of all the little white walls in her room. You know, it just is, she basically teaches inside a softbox. And that allows for it. Another option you could do if you're in a room that, and you don't want to buy a green screen, just get green paint and just paint it behind you. Why not? And they do have green screens that go on chairs. I'm in a standing classroom, so I have actually a drafting chair. I'm 6 feet tall. I have a really tall drafting chair, and I like to just be able to stand up and teach, which is why I like it. Here I am in my chroma key. When I use chroma key, I basically turn it on. And it becomes a matter of clicking everywhere around me. What I like to do is get out of view. And I click the heck out of it. Boop, 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 boop. Anywhere I see green, I'm just clicking, 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 clicking. All right. Hi. Then I come back on and I just click a little bit more. All right, so this has actually given me my green screen. I then can play with my shrink. You see this shrink contour? This is what basically determines how much of the green screen there is. I start to modify that and my blur contour. And it determines basically the more I have my hair up, like the more I have to go in and select green to try to get my lines a little bit better. But if you're finding that you're living in a halo, it's because you're lighting. Now, some people do need to go ahead some people do need to go ahead and light the classroom behind them. If you find that you have one light in front of you and you're still coming in dark, throw a light behind you and light up that green screen. That's your problem. Do you have to play with the bars on the side? It depends what I wear. If I wear orange, I don't. If I'm wearing something, this is a thing my sister-in-law gave me and it's now covered in cat fur. If I'm wearing something gray, do you see what happens here? It somehow picks up this gray part and makes it a little bit funky. This is how I disappeared in one of my videos. Now you can play with the shrink to get rid of that, but one of the other ways is, yes, playing with this bar. What I want to do is make sure that I'm defining the green and not any other color. So I'll play with my bar a little bit and make sure that it is selecting only green, and then I'll redo my dropper. Do you see how now the black isn't funky? It's just playing with this color and making sure that I'm defining my green a little bit more. That'll help you. But I generally don't have to do that too much. It all just depends on, honestly, what I'm wearing. And for some reason, ManyCam does not like charcoal gray. You need to just fix that up here. And obviously, it doesn't like green. If I was to wear anything green, it becomes, that's pretty cool. If you do anything green, it just becomes part of your ManyCam, right? This is how movies are made. That's why everyone runs out in like little green costumes. So it's kind of cool. I don't know why I would do this. I think I need to have a little fun and figure out what's missing. So let's talk about my chroma key and how we can use this effectively in the classroom. Here are how to select background images. If I was to go into background images, I'm going to go into custom backgrounds, and let me show you what I have here. Very similar to the way that I organize my ManyCam, I've organized backgrounds. I have birthdays. These are all backgrounds that I've gone and I found on the internet of birthday backgrounds. So if we are doing the birthday party unit, you can guarantee I'm going to be at somebody's birthday party. If we are going in and doing the travel unit time, you can go ahead and find it. I can go to Disneyland. I can go, when we're talking about China, I could be on the Great Wall. I use my chroma key as a prop for ManyCam in every class for the most part. This is actually one of my bigger props. You can still, like, in a way, use Google Slides similarly, but just the effect that it makes here is pretty much like the kids are just like, you know, and that's why I just love chroma key. I really, really love chroma key. I love it for like the weather seasons. You can use different effects. Like this one's one of my favorites. If I was to go into winter right now, and then I was to click on, I'm in Massachusetts, so the least thing I want is winter. I was to go into distortions. Now watch what I could do. Oh, it's really more helpful if it actually works. Come on. There it is. Do you see? It's snowing. Yeah. Okay. So this can combine the chroma key in the background as well as using effects within ManyCam and really give an amazing visual effect. Any questions?
What are the files when you're clicking to add them? Are those image files?
Yeah, JPEGs.
Oh, JPEGs.
Just JPEGs. And I just always like, I would literally Google, you know, I don't know. Let's see, which can we find a background of? Come on, Amanda.
The beach.
Oh, yes. Yes. All right.
If you're in front of the wall, the Great Wall, do your children ever ask you, are you in China? Are you at the Great Wall? Or
they don't.
Oh.
I think they get that I'm just, they don't, but you know what? I'm probably just a moment away from being asked that. What do I say? Right?
What would you say? What would you say?
Yes. They'll be like, I'll be right there. And you go, uh-oh, this one's beautiful. I'm going to right click. I'm just going to save image as. I'm going to say beach. And now I'm going to just save it in my files. I'm going to turn off this snow because seriously, I feel like it just stopped snowing in New England last week. I'm going to go back into my chroma key. I'm going to go into custom background. And I'm going to go to where I put beach, which I think was in places. And there we go. Ta-da.
Yes. Cruise ready.
Cruise ready. Bahamas, here I come. I can't wait. I can't wait. So I really feel like it's worth the investment if you want to. But again, you need the computer to work on chroma key. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I feel like you just have to know. All right, homework. Your homework is going to be to use some effects and then use some more. To use Google Slides and then use it more. And then try to use them together. Honestly, master the art of the stars, align those stars in order, and practice giving your students stars in creative ways. I have that $1 star, and you know, I could like stamp. You know, that one should have been up there. All right, not very effective if I'm not stamping in the right place.
That's cute.
It's cute, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, let me check that chat box one more time. I know you guys have been so great in staying on this long. I plan on doing these however often people want. Internet speed requirements. Well, just for VIPKid alone, you need to have 20 megabytes a download and a ping of under 100. When I'm using any classroom, if I'm in the new classroom, I always automatically switch to line 8. You'll see your ping drops almost in half. So if you're in a new classroom, immediately switch to line 8. If you're in the old classroom, switch yourself to line 3. Those have the best pings and least likely to get an IT issue. Yes, Heather, those ManyCam words being cut off in ManyCam, I know, weird. I love that.
I have another friend who does VIPKid, and she actually referred me. And so I've been sending her pictures and showing her, and she's like, I have no idea what that is. And I've installed, reinstalled, I've contacted ManyCam.
Can you try to just adjust the display itself on your computer to make sure that you don't have overly large font on your display?
Resizing it?
Like on your actual computer. Let's see. Do you have a Windows-based computer? Yeah, well, we're going to do this. We're going to figure this out. I know. I feel like that's something about your display. And I feel like it's going to have to do with your font, like your auto font. You know, sometimes things are just bigger. Like the older I get, the bigger my font is getting.
And I've tried some of that. I don't know, maybe I haven't tried enough of it, but I've changed the display. I've changed the fonts. I've changed my screen.
You know what? We can send
No
a
idea.
screenshot over. ManyCam answers questions in like 24
Okay.
hours. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I just found out that I was featured on a ManyCam blog video, which was so exciting. How do you switch to line 8 just when you're in the classroom and you hit switch lines in your classroom? Just choose line 8 when you're in the new classroom. That's just a switching of the lines. Yeah, do it before the firemen do. All right. I feel
Paige,
like,
do you
yes.
have any problems holding up props with your chroma key?
I don't.
Okay.
Let me hold up some props. Oh, very funny. Look at that. If for some reason I do, so it depends. Actually, I shouldn't say I don't. If I'm standing too close to my camera, I'm out of my light source. So I'm standing too close to where my 2 lights are. Do you see how Dino is just messing everything up? But if I'm standing back here and I'm actually where my lighting is, then I don't have any prop issues. The only time that I would really have a prop issue is on anything that has like green in it. So when I hold up my mom, that was really funny. I hold up my mom. Let me see, Dad sometimes does it. Everything is going really well today. So Dad, no. Usually when I hold up like this, my cards that I have these are my trial cards, because I am still very proppy. Like I use all props. I use a combination. So let's see, would number 7 disappear? Wow, nothing is doing it. And I think the reason why it's not doing it, hold on a second. I think I mastered that right there in front of you guys today. I'm gonna reset it remember how I turned this to be specific to green? If I don't do that, let's see, does it happen now? No, the 7's being really well behaved. So no, it depends. It has to have the green that's the same color as my chroma key. And I don't have anything that specific color. Yeah, no, pretty good with props, actually. Pretty good, actually. Great. All right, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen there, leave it open to just a couple more questions, and then I actually have to go pick up my son. I wanna make sure you guys feel very comfortable. So really, any questions? No.
When's your next class?
Yeah, whenever. I plan on actually doing these bi-weekly. I'm going to start going a little bit more topic specific, so the actual class itself will be smaller. The way that I'll determine what the classes are just going to be basically on your topic. So if you post in the ManyCam site, so I'm pretty much all over Facebook. I'm a moderator on the VIPKid videos and props group. I'm a moderator on the Google Slides group. I am the administrator of the VIPKid monthly challenge group. If you're not on that group, shame on you, come join us. We're really, we celebrate anything that you want to brag about. You know, you just had a booking, you just, you made, and the average amount of money that people make in my group over there is somewhere around $2,000 to $4,000 a month. And I am Google Slides, right? What I say, Google Slides, videos and props. Challenge, many cameras, of course. Duh. I'm on the ManyCam group. You can find me anywhere, and of course, the VIPKid Teacher Sam page. Send me a message and say that you'd like to have this. I'm also more than happy to do one-to-one trainings if that is something that you feel that you want. I work just for you being happy. So there you go. All right. How is my, Regina, what are you trying to say there? How is your Amarace? Oh, camera setup. My camera just sits on my giant monitor. Do you want to see my camera? So if people want to see? I don't mind.
Yes, I
Okay.
want to see your camera.
You want to see?
I'm sorry.
You can see my camera. I don't mind.
Mine
Yeah.
is just on my laptop.
Yeah.
It's too close, I think.
Yes. Well, is that your angle that you teach with, what I'm seeing right now?
No, I teach from this angle.
And you're green screening on your chroma keying on your blue background, right?
Yes, but I can do green. I can do green.
I don't do blue for the sole purpose of I like to wear blue shirts. And so that's the only reason. I never wear green. So the blue is great. She's got a portable green screen, And there are ones that go on the back of the chair. I just have my camera here. It's sitting on the top of my monitor.
So how far away are you from the camera?
So this is, yeah, it's a good question. Oh, I just took a picture. That was funny. How far am I from the camera? Well, I have to say this is probably me at 1 foot, maybe 2 feet, 3, like a yardstick away right here. Yeah.
So how do you use your mouse? And
that's a great question. Yes. Okay. I had a desk built for me. Let me show you my desk. It sounds like a lot more like fancy, but it really wasn't expensive. I don't spend a lot of money, and anytime I do make any sort of purchase, I make sure it's business smart and it's write-offable. I have like a U-shaped desk. Can you see? No, I have to go. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I can see. Oh, all right. I lost you.
Yeah, I know. What happened there? It froze. Let's try again. Done. Hold on. Let's see what happened. If I go back here, let's try it again. Is it moving? Transition. Hold on. Let me just redo it again as mobile app. I think I lost my connection. All right, let me do this. Sorry, I'm trying. Trying, man. This mobile app has like minimal.
Is your desk, you said you have a standing desk?
Yeah, let's see.
It's U-shaped too?
Yeah, it's U-shaped.
Wow.
All right, so it's a standing. Oh, let me mute this. Here we go. It's a standing desk, so it's U-shaped. I can stand or I can sit at it. And so if this is my computer, to my right, see on the very, like on almost on the arm of it exists my mouse. And I keep it kind of to the end here. So my mouse is a bit away. Can you see that?
Yes, I see that.
From my computer. Yeah. I don't need, like, you don't have to have, I mean, like the standing thing was just, oops, where am I? The standing thing was just something that I wanted to do for health purposes. I really found that when I was sitting, I was starting to feel kind of nauseous, sitting as long as I was. I have a very tall drafting chair, really tall. Like I even need to step up a little bit. So if I'm standing, I can climb up on my chair, and now this is me sitting. So it allows me to go from standing and sitting with my students and still remain on camera. Sometimes you just want to sit. When I do my MCM classes, when I'm working with new teachers, I'm sitting. I'm not like kind of standing all over the place.
Yeah, I think standing is so much healthier. I just was able to switch myself, and I find it able to be able to move around and not just being stuck in one little spot.
I agree.
You're sitting, you just kind of have to stay, and when you're standing you can kind of move about.
You can, and your TPR game just goes up. And the beginning when I started standing, it started showing up in my parent comments like standing teacher. A wireless mouse, Janet. Yeah, we'll let you do the same thing. When I first had my old desk, I just had like a TV tray next to me, and I just had my mouse next to me. I mean, you can get like, I don't know, they're free now. Nobody uses the mouse anymore. But that was a great question. I find being away from the camera also is just better on your eyes. It's just so much better on your eyes. And there's another advantage. When we were talking about my large screen, you don't know where I'm looking right now. I'm looking at like, am I looking at my ManyCam? Am I looking at my Google Slides? Am I looking at you? You don't have that teetering. You don't have that teetering or bobbleheadness if you could sit back a little bit further. And the parent never thinks that you're, looking on a phone or something like that.
Now, what size is your monitor again?
27.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I really wait for, Craigslist wait for a sale. I really think I spent like $110 on it, and I have no regrets. I mean, honestly, if you can sacrifice a laptop, you will get a lot better of performance with a desktop computer. You can get it cheaper with a lot more stuff. You can look for refurbished. If you find one on eBay and you want my opinion, just send me a message. I have a Hewlett-Packard monitor, 27-inch monitor, but I don't think the brand matters I don't think the brand matters too much. And in fact, if somebody has like an old, many of the newer old TVs double or work as a monitor. So you might find somebody who is getting rid of like a 24-inch TV or a 26-inch TV. If it has a computer input, then you can use it as a monitor. So you can get yourself a bigger monitor for a nice price. I really feel like that's worth an investment.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Guys, it's been amazing. Thank you for the opportunity to sound like I know what I'm talking about. I hope I've answered your questions, and I will be more than happy to give you specific answers. Just PM me at any point, and I'll do my best to get back to you, all right?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye, everyone. Have a great day.
You too. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.